What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Gift of Gaming podcast. The world's a bit shit at the minute, so on this week's episode, we're talking about the video game worlds we'd love to live in, and maybe even the ones we'd hate to live in. All coming up right now. On this week's episode, I'm joined by Craig, the Critical Nolan. Craig, how are you?
I'm good, Darren. Thanks for having.
Oh, pleasure as always. And of course, this time for the first time back in a while, KP, Kevin Purcell. How are you?
Good, man. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm not too bad. It's me, your host, Darren Wade. I forgot to do that little bit at the start, as you did. But KP, it's been a while, and myself and Craig have done nothing but talk about Final Fantasy. Yeah, talk about you
for 3 weeks straight, or so it seems.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The listeners who don't enjoy Final Fantasy 7 will be delighted that we've finally gotten off that train. Yeah. But what have you been playing, Kev? Well, the rest of us were knee deep in Final Fantasy. What about you?
I was playing. Well, given the topic, I jumped back into a few games that were kind of like circling, where I was thinking I might want to live or not live or be trapped in. So I won't give too many of them away, but we were talking about it at the start. I jumped back into Red Dead 2 again, just to have a little wander around, explore the world, see if I wanted to live there or not.
Does it still look great?
It looks. So I don't think I've played a game that's come out like past it that looks as good.
I think The Last of Us 2 is like, and for Horizon are my two like peaks, other than Final Fantasy Rebirth.
It's just a fantastic game, and that and a ton of Warzone. I'm still chasing my elusive win on solos.
Have you never gotten a win on solos?
Never gotten a W. I've come close, and sometimes I feel like the other day I killed 10 people, came 5th, and I was like, I wiped out 10% of the map, and like nothing. Good. Yeah, I was pretty happy with it, but I was like, it doesn't count for anything.
I never once got close to getting my own. I'm always really scared if I'm on my own. I just always assume someone's just going to knife me from behind, which does happen as well.
Back in the early days of Warzone, I got especially when we were playing it, Craig and Cove and stuff, and when I was soloing, then I got a few W's, but then we left it for a while. I came back and everyone was amazing at the game, and I was shit. So after that, it was never a win again. Kev, I might get you just to pull your mic just a little bit closer to your face.
Of course, sorry about that.
No, you're all good.
Do you know what I always find as well playing it? When people are way better than me and like they're sniping me from a huge distance, I'm like, oh, they're fucking cheating. Like aim assist is on. It's just someone on a PC. And they're using they're using a mouse, and they just have.
Can you not set it that PC players can't play? Because I would always do that.
You can turn cross-play on or off.
Okay.
Because the skill level doubles instantly.
I'll be getting that W.
I'd love if next week you came in and you were like, so hey boys, I turned cross-play off and I'm a master of the game now.
Champ.
Just the PC players.
But it's a lot harder, though, I guess, to cheat on PlayStation. Like, you know,
I've never even thought about it, but I just like every time I see myself get killed and it's like this perfect shot from like hundreds of yards away, I'm like, that person is using aim assist, but it's clearly.
But sometimes they are just really fucking good.
Yeah. I used to watch a lot of videos of people playing the game back in the day when I was big into it, like Stone Mountain 64 and even Dr. Disrespect. I'd watch some of their videos because they could be quite funny, but I'd watch them play and I'd be like, they're in another fucking thing. Now, granted, they're professional gamers.
They play 8 hours a day every day. That's their job. But they're annoyingly good to the point where like, well, I can't do that, so now why even bother?
Why even bother? You know? Yeah. Sniping especially. Craig, I would check to see what you're playing, but I'm assuming it's just Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth on hard mode.
It is, yeah. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth on hard mode. But I must say, and I didn't know before, they've removed a lot of the kind of side quest stuff that's part of the main quest. Like, you know, like catching the chocobo. Yeah. Or there's a couple of scenes where like you have to, like I'm in the Dust Bowl right now and I don't have to feed the chocobo anymore. Like I don't have to go around and do all that nonsense. It's just like, okay, there's the chocobo, go do the race. So it's really, really fast. And I'm going through it very, very slowly because I'm reading a bunch of books at the moment. But it's a great experience just to do the main game and not all of the extra stuff. Yeah. Well, it was actually amazing, but now it feels more like the original game because it has the same pacing.
Yes.
You know? How many hours did it take you first time around?
120.
Wow.
But I went back and played it for another 30 just of getting more stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
But that was for people who were doing side quests and kind of completing everything as it came to you. Yeah. The average was like 120 hours. The game's massive.
Yeah. Sensational.
But that is 100 hours of like Last of Us 2 level content. Like this isn't an RPG like Baldur's Gate where you're in your menu for like 2 hours. You know, this is like non-stop gameplay. You know, it's
different level.
It was outrageous. It was what a good time. I've had to actually step away. I tried to do it with Craig, didn't go back into hard mode, but it's too soon for me. I'm like,
See,
I need
my
to put
worry
this
is that
down
if
for
I
a
don't
while.
do it now, I'll be if I go back and try to do hard mode a year from now, I'll be crap at the game and I'll get my ass kicked because it's already really difficult.
I haven't actually gotten into anything. I tried the hard mode in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and was like, no, I need to give this a break. And I haven't really touched upon any games really since then. I haven't really kind of said. I'm thinking Doom. We're probably gonna do, myself and Chris and maybe Andrew are gonna do a Doom episode. So we're playing through like the Doom catalog. But and it's kind of off topic for video games. But Kev, myself and Craig watched it yesterday. Have you seen the Deadpool Wolverine trailer?
I've seen a trailer. I don't know if it's the most recent trailer. When was this one?
One came out yesterday.
I definitely haven't seen it. Oh, I saw a still from it though. Does it release did it show a load of characters that are going to appear in it from other X-Men?
Yes.
What's his name? Azazel and
Yes.
Okay, I've seen stills. I haven't watched it. I will be watching them.
Yeah, it looks amazing. It's kind of got me excited for Marvel again, possibly. I hope, maybe. Craig's giving me a look as if, you know.
I'm like, what particular video game of Marvel are you looking forward to, Darren? What the hell are you even talking about over here?
I'd love a Captain America video game. Yeah, fandoms.
We're talking about our actual lives
There's
here.
a Captain America video game coming out. It's set in the
It's that
1964.
Dan and Black Panther, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's who we know as Black Panther from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. His dad,
Yes.
I think. Yeah. Looks
Big
pretty
thing.
awesome.
Looks all right. There's a great one, and it's funny. It's worth a few bob now. My brother got it for me a couple of years ago because he knew I was a big Captain America fan. But there's a Captain America game that came out right after the first Avenger movie.
There's
with Chris
no
Evans.
way any Captain America game would ever be good.
So
ever.
it's not that it's. I mean, I tried to play it, and it was a PS3 game, and he got it for me like 2 years ago. So it was hard to play. It's clunky as. But what's interesting is it's voiced by Chris Evans and all of the cast from the movie. But it's really, in terms of as a collector's item, it's really sought after. I can't remember where Graham got it, if it was a CEX or something like that. But it's worth it. When I say worth a few bob, like you can buy it. Like people are looking for like 80, 90 quid for this PS3 game or whatever. So I was like, I'll hold on to that maybe and just see if a PS3 Captain America game.
So you have the physical copy?
I have the physical copy, yeah.
That might be worth something because it didn't sell. So it being terrible has helped escalate the price.
yeah, apparently so. But it is interesting listening to Chris Evans do the voicing of it. Like, 'cause you know that was when anytime the video game adaptations of the movies come out, it's not often you get like the full cast doing the voice, and sometimes it could just be like, we'll get whoever filled in. It's not a great game though. I tried playing it. My brother's played it more than I have. He's given it a good shot. I was watching him being like,
well, 9 times out of 10 it's a rushed piece of shit just to like get it out at the
for the
same
movie.
time as the launch, so it's just rubbish.
But that's not what we're here to talk about, fellas. We're not here to talk about a Captain America game that might make me a small fortune. We're here to talk about the video game worlds that we would love to live in and quite possibly hate to live in. So I've put a bit of stipulation in terms of rules for this episode. The world that we would love to live in, we have, if you want them, any of the powers or things
of
that
the
exist
characters in that world.
In that world, yeah. So you can enjoy that world to the fullest. For the video game world you would hate to live in, you are just you. You get no powers, no bonus. You're just like a shitty, crappy NPC in that world.
That's fair.
So what's the kind of world you'd hate to live in? So I'll start off with. Do you guys want to start off with the world you'd hate to live in or love to live in? What do you feel like?
I don't like ending on a downward note,
Yeah,
right?
that's a
So
good point.
maybe we should
start with the hate ones.
Start with the hate
All
ones.
right, KP. I've been because I know Craig's video gaming quite well in terms of what he's into, but I would be unsure of what you pick. So I'm quite excited. So tell us, what video game world would you hate to live in?
I was rattling through a few, all very similar kind of genre and style, like kind of survival horror type games, and I ended up landing on Days Gone, because I know within 5 minutes I would be gone. I wouldn't last 2 minutes. It's a fantastic game, really well built game.
Days Gone is the one on the motorbike.
Yeah. Playing Deacon St. John.
Yeah.
It's a great game, really fun game. I love zombie kind of survival horror games. I was gonna it was gonna be The Last of Us, maybe Resident Evil. I was gonna pick something along
But you
those
chose
lines.
Days Gone. Is it particularly more scary than the others?
I found it quite scary because you had to deal with the hordes of zombies, and in the game itself, even when I was like powered up to the point that like I had good guns, I had my motorbike was pretty well equipped to like get away if I needed to, I would avoid them like the plague. So I was terrified of the concept of taking them on in a virtual setting. So the idea of being out there in the wild, actually having to go from like town to town, like collecting supplies. I can't even shoot a gun. Do you know what I
So
mean?
that was one of my questions was, have you ever fired a gun before?
I've done clay pigeon shooting, but I don't know
That's
if
not
I could
bad.
equate
You have an
that.
advantage over me.
Yeah,
An advantage over me as well. Yeah, I've never fired a gun before. So
yeah, I suppose it is a moving target, but it's not trying to eat you. And
it's in the sky.
One thing that I actually really did like about Days Gone as well was like the variety of like different enemies, different types of zombies you can.
Oh,
you
so
can
they're
come
not all the Walking Dead type?
No, they have the most random ones. They've ones that like do like they scream really loudly to like kind
Alert
of like knock
more.
you unconscious
Oh,
almost.
okay.
Yeah. They've ones that are like just like bruisers. They're like tanks. Like they're just absolutely massive. They just cause havoc. They've ones that are crows. They just go around, fly, try to peck your eyes and stuff like that. So it's a tough game to kind of get through. You have to like know different ways of like kind of taking them on. You have to be good at survival instinct. All the things that I am not.
So my thing, because a lot of people would. I'd always say like, oh, what are my survival skills? Like, if I was out in the wild, could I even start a fire? Could I fend for myself? Would I know? Could I kill a creature to eat it? Like, could I? Because I'm born in the city. I've lived a very kind of sheltered life my whole life. Do you think you would have any sort of survivalist skills?
No, none. I think when I was a kid, my parents got me involved in scouts. Did we all like? Did you do scouts when you were young?
No, but again,
No.
you probably have a lead over me. I have no. You can probably tie knots better than me now, right?
No, I wasn't good at it. I was so bad. No, I have nothing in the way of any sort of like outdoorsy type skills. Wouldn't be able to build a fire unless I had a lighter and fire lighters.
So once you're out in the wild, you're gone. There's
I'm
just
gone.
No chance
I'm not. Yeah,
Are there cities in Days Gone though?
yeah, but
Is-
they're
is-
kind of rebuilt cities the way you see in kind of like the way The Last of Us is. There's like strongholds where people
Yeah,
have like
yeah.
kind of created forts, basically.
But you
and
could be somebody's bitch and like make it.
I might make a good
Like
bitch.
it'd be possible.
There are ways I could survive.
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
willing to do.
But
certain
we don't have
things.
the skills. How much groveling do we have to do?
Yeah, start turning tricks.
There are ways.
I'll do anything you say. Anything.
Just please protect me. Funny enough, I only watched because we were talking about it there recently. I only watched. You watched the Last of Us TV show, I'm assuming, Kev, because I know
Yeah.
Craig did. I watched the third episode back. I'm doing a rewatch at the minute, and I watched the third episode, which is the Bill and Frank one. But that one starts off amazingly because it's a he's a prepper, but it's like a prepper's wet dream in that the whole village leaves and he gets to set up everything. And I was looking at that being like, fuck, as much as I don't like the idea, because a lot of preppers, I think the stereotype for a prepper is someone who's got probably political opinions that don't align with mine whatsoever. So I was like, I fucking hate these preppers. But the more the world kind of goes on the way it's going, I'm like, fuck, they're gonna be the people I need to turn to. I'm gonna have to go into like a prepper's website here in Ireland to be like, hey, hi, how's it going? You want to save me if anything goes wrong? Because I haven't a breeze. But yeah, I'd say having prepping skills would be amazing. For that.
Yeah. They will inherit the earth one day.
Yeah,
You know,
when it
all
all
their
goes to shit.
guns.
Yeah, that's a very reasonable world to want or to not want to live in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I would be an absolute goner. Yeah.
Craig,
Okay, so I was very, very similar to how you were thinking, and I was like, you know what? But every single horror world is equally terrifying and
Yes.
scary. So I was just like, I would never live in any world
Yeah.
that's a horror game.
Yeah,
so
for
I was just
sure.
like, maybe I should just remove those and instead focus on, a world that is scary but isn't a horror genre.
okay.
And so I went with I would hate to live in the Hades universe, aka the underworld.
Yeah,
Yeah, hell itself.
fair enough.
Because like in any horror game, it's like sorry, what was I going to say? In any horror game, like generally speaking, an enemy's going to rip you apart in 5 minutes. But in Hades, like you're a tormented soul or whatever, so you have to spend thousands of years doing it. Like there's no quick release of death,
Yeah.
If you're in this universe, you're
good
already in hell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like you
Like
could
Ca-
either be like that character who, like there's one of the guys, he's rolling a boulder up a hill, and he just has to do that over and over again for eternity.
Yeah.
Like even Hades, who runs the world, is just stuck at his desk all day, every day, right?
Signing in dead people.
Signing dead people and like having a miserable time. Like,
Because you how long do you reckon you would last, Kev?
If I was to come across like a settlement and weasel my way in, I might be okay, maybe a week. Like, but if I'm stuck out in the wild at all, I don't even know if I'd get through a day.
Yeah.
I don't think-
Whereas, and so like a day, but it's only like it's 24 to 48 hours you might have to live in this horrible world. Whereas Craig, as you said,
this is
it's
eternity. You're already dead, and now you're here. So like, it's like fuck, But I mean, like, I imagine since I'm the default character, I'm not the main character. I don't get to escape and have sex with Meg and like fight her and all this type of deadly shit that he gets to do. I'm just one of those random spirits who's probably in the boardroom working away on a typewriter for like 100 hours straight without so much as a 5-minute break, like
constantly. No, but it's not even a typewriter. It's like it's with paper, so you're constantly getting paper cuts that you have to
probably
deal with.
ink and quill type bullshit.
Yeah,
like you're like, oh, hurt my fingers. Yeah, I just can't imagine anything more awful than that. Granted, I only start thinking back a couple of years in terms of games, and as soon as I landed on Hades, I just didn't bother going back further. I was like, that's probably my winner.
Yeah, that'll fuck with. Yeah, that's a fair one. For myself, I looked at the horror, the survival games. I had down here, any of the Doom ones, Bloodborne, any kind of Souls like game.
Would be a nightmare.
Resident Evil, of course. I had all them. Oh, sorry.
A microphone went disappearing.
Just like those Souls, just that atmosphere of just dark.
The medieval misery, right? Yeah. I considered all of them, but here's the thing. I, generally speaking, get very frustrated and stressed out with humans. Do you know what I mean? Just normal, everyday humans, Like in this apartment block, for example, I'll give you a thing that really pissed me off. After Christmas, they put signs up everywhere being like, hey, residents, please dispose of your Christmas trees appropriately. They're not to go into the rubbish room. These signs were at the front of the rubbish room. They were all over the apartment blocks. What do I see the very first day I go into the rubbish room after Christmas? A couple of Christmas trees, right? Mm-hmm. Really, in the words of Peter Griffin, really grinds my gears. Humans, generally speaking, can really grind my gears. So I was like, what? I mean, yeah, the zombie things would be awful, but I was like, what kind of world would awful humans would just be like my living hell? Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, so fair, yeah.
Grand Theft Auto, because any game you play, most of the NPCs that you never mind the main characters, most of the NPCs you meet are crazy, either like batshit crazy or arseholes. Mm-hmm. And then I'd have to live in a world where at any given day there could be a group of people like trying to shoot some criminals off a train that I'm just on my 9 to 5. Like I'm just trying to get to work on the Dart, and so keep up with the train, CJ. I'm like, oh my god, who are these maniacs with like MP5s just like shooting shit up, right? So that would be a problem. But then, of course, if we're taking that world into consideration, then you've got like the Armageddon style thing. If the cheat codes are a thing that exists, right? You take San Andreas, for example. You give give all the NPCs weapons and make them all go crazy. So then all of a sudden, I'm in a battle royale situation where I'm just walking around, and all of a sudden everyone goes mad, and I'm given a random weapon. What if it's a shovel?
But the NPCs don't have the cheats because we're in a world where nobody has the powers, right? So
no one has the powers. But I mean to say that's a world where cheats can happen, but they're not benefiting me. Like I could just be walking around on a random day being like, oh, I can't wait to go to so and so's 35th birthday tonight. It's gonna be so much fun. And then a cheat code's entered, and the whole world goes to shit for 24 hours. I missed the birthday. I've got to just like survive for my life for a little while until like the player is like done fucking about with shit, right? I would hate that, and it's just
that doesn't sound the worst thing. Like,
no, because I'd have
probably get some days where nothing happens and you'd be like, all right, I had a decent weekend,
Or if the right cheat code happened, all of a sudden you just have like $250,000 in your pocket. Do you remember that?
Or
explain the cheat code thing to me again. Is that what so someone is a player in this world? You're like an NPC.
I'm just an NPC, right?
Okay, so someone else is playing the game.
Yeah, but the video game,
it's not the game world. It's an actual game you've gone to.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm living in this game. I'm living in this game world.
Jumanji style is where my head went.
Well, I was just kind of like, I'm living in this world, and all of the rules, good, bad, or indifferent, would apply to this world, but I don't benefit from them. I just have to like survive through them in any case. But the cheat codes, like, they're often going to benefit the player. So like, I'm not getting my health restored or giving myself some bulletproof armor. I just have to just deal with the bullshit that's going to happen. And it's like, okay, so never mind the player using cheat codes, but I also have to, like I said, all these NPCs, if I have a problem with people leaving Christmas trees in the bin room in my apartment, like, the people in those fucking worlds are just, for the most part, hilarious to a degree, but like hilarious as you as a player to experience the video game. People in the game are hilarious, but imagine being surrounded like by people that are that batshit crazy 24/7.
Darren, you're just talking about the real world with slightly more guns in it.
Yeah, I'm already living my hell, Greg.
You would say that your first example about this world was your own
apartment building. I'm a very unhappy individual. No, but I kind of thought about the, because I think the Resident Evil ones like that, your survival rate is so low that I probably wouldn't have to experience it. I wouldn't have to live in it for that long. And I think you kind of were approaching the same thing as me, where it's like the longer I have to live in this world, the worse it's going to be, with your Hades thing. And I kind of thought I probably have to live my life dealing with the bullshit of a GTA world. And like, the normal world has bullshit, but the GTA world has like exception levels of bullshit, like,
But most that's wacky. It's neither good nor bad, like,
I don't know.
Sometimes good things will happen. You'd be like, oh my god, a car just flew 50 feet through the air. That's pretty awesome, like,
Yeah, but like, my anxiety would be through the roof if that's how to live my day-to-day life. You know what I mean?
And like anytime one of those crimes was committed, the escalation of police force in that game is hysterical.
The army immediately
the
coming
army
out and
of
like
nowhere.
gunning people
But you,
down.
you get so much entertainment just from your living room window.
Yeah,
you know, I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it could be good. It could be.
It
It's
might not
both
be
good
safe,
and
though,
bad.
because like you know the way as well, and it'd be especially like the older GTA's. You know when like you came out and you as the player had like a 5-star or a 4-star, you know, SWAT team after you. The moment they kill you, the NPCs or those characters just get in their spot cars and drive off, and you get the wasted screen or whatever. Imagine living in a world where it'd be so callous that like a criminal's just getting shot down and straight to the police, like job done. Off they go into the cars and drive off, and you're just left with like, what do I do with this like body on the street?
Up,
the clean up.
Tell me this little detail, because I know in like GTA like 2 and 3 and stuff like that, where if an ambulance showed up, it would actually resuscitate the people who are on the ground. Did that happen in the latest GTA games?
GTA 5, I don't think so. No.
So I'm just wondering if there's just no death and everyone just gets up
because you're right. In GTA
spawned
3, especially, I remember that you do certain missions.
Yeah, because you could kill people and then watch as
An
the ambulance
ambulance
people
came
come, they
and revived
resuscitate
them.
them, and then you kill them all over again. Like,
That's
we all did.
But I mean, I'd hate like that world would just like really. I'd hate that like to see that like you know.
But no death is pretty good, and then it would remove the fear of doing all those wacky things. Like I'd be like, oh cool, kill frenzy for everyone, let's go. Like who's gonna win this time? If I die, someone's just gonna revive me in a few minutes.
There were a lot of it's well built as well. There's lots of things to do in that world, which is where there would be a slight advantage for you. Like you could go bowling, stuff like that. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, no,
world.
but like I'm going. So this
Darren, this is a great world.
No, to be fair, I was thinking GTA.
I'm
as
trying-
well. It would
Were
be-
you as a bad one?
I-
That's
just
ridiculous.
Like, as a passerby in that universe, you'd be like, not again.
My anxiety would be through the roof. Like imagine that's what I mean. You say, oh, you could go bowling, yeah, but what if I'm going to the bowling alley at the same time fucking CJ and Big Smoke going to the bowling alley, and they just have to shoot up a couple of people because that's what's happening in their life, and I just have to sit there and experience that, and I just can't be calm.
It's moderately annoying, but like you're not afraid. You're not running for your life.
I'd be afraid.
You're just having a bad day, an average day.
average bad day.
But like even like if you like last time Red Dead was like your go-to for being good. If you had said Red Dead as the bad thing, I'd be more like, no, that's a genuine bad answer, because not only is it in the modern gaming world you've chosen, like our world, but it's set hundreds of years ago where all that bad shit happened, with all scurvy and getting a fucking tooth broken, then you're wrecked, wiping your ass with the leaves. Like that'd be fucking absolutely
Constant
terrible.
threat of the
Whereas
animal
today
alive.
in the GTA world, they've got toilets, man. They've
do.
got cars, they've got good hygiene, you
Yeah.
know, they've got doctors, you know.
I just think
You go into the Witcher world and live
things
that
are-
life.
things are
Things
bad.
are going to be, things are not only bad on the streets, but then you go into the wild and try and fend for yourself, and ghouls and monsters are going
but I
to
think
The thing about the topic though, like it took me so long to think of one where I was like, I'd be all right there. Like most games that jumped into my mind straight off the bat is where I would maybe want to be. I like Red Dead 2 was one. I thought that would be awesome, like the Wild West.
Wild West.
fool. You're like him a couple of years ago.
The constant threat of death. Just around the corner, like common ailments are going to do
Yeah.
you in.
Yeah.
You could be eaten by a giant alligator, bear, whatever. Like it would be a nightmare being there. And it was the same for most of the games. I was like thinking like Ghost of Tsushima. I was like, oh, that'd be awesome. I was like, no, it wouldn't.
No.
It'd be so
It'd be
bad.
so
The
hard.
Mongols would kill
Struggle.
most of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, and then
Yeah.
you're stuck back in time.
And I think no, again, like, and I know you're saying like, oh, you come back to life or whatever else in GTA world. I don't know if that would still happen in the likes of GTA 5. But my fear would
I
be
can't
that
remember if GTA 5, but in the other ones you did.
you did, yeah, no, true. But my thing about it would be is that like, you know, I get a bit of anxiety from time to time in my life. I would be 24/7 anxious in the GTA world. Yeah, I could go bowling, but I don't know if the place is going to blow up or a plane's going to crash into it because people are just being white. It would have me on edge. So, and the worst part about it is that what would frustrate me is that I'm trying to live a normal life. Like I have the opportunity to live a completely normal life here, but I never know.
At least
if
you
it's
have
like,
that opportunity. I'm in hell. With no way to escape whatsoever. Like, you know, just a millennium longer of just constant torment.
Fair. Well, I suppose on a lighter note then, and I'll switch it back up to you, Craig. The world that you would most
Wait a minute, who
enjoyed-
won that round? I feel like both of you fucked up big time.
Oh, sorry, it's a competition. I would say your eternity.
Because
you have it the worst. I
You
have a
could
quick, I
survive,
have a quick death
and
if
your
anything.
life would be ordinary. Like you have a pretty
It'd be
similar
ordinary-
life to what you have now.
No, yeah, but I'd be way more. I'd be just an angrier person if I'd be so much more annoyed at humans if I had to live in that world. And I don't want to be.
I think
more
you are
annoyed
just
at humans.
annoyed at humans.
We suck. So no, I think your eternity one definitely is a rough deal.
That would be
Yeah.
a
Quite
rough
because
list, I would agree.
once you go, every horror game is the same. Like if I was thinking I'd choose Dead Space, and then I'm just like, wait a minute, as horrifying as that game is, like if I just woke up on that Isamura ship, I would just immediately pick up my gun and blow my brains out. I wouldn't even look around the room to see if there's an escape pod, because like the distance between me and the escape pod might be enough for me to get fucking wrecked. So I'm just gonna blow my brains out immediately, and it's over. I win. You know,
You win.
I don't have to survive this. Yeah. That's fair. No, I think you had the worst one. Do you think you've got the nicest world to live in? What was your choice for a good world to live in?
Oh yeah, okay. Well, you know this one because we've done it before, but. And I always like the idea of being brilliant without having to do much. You know, like, so I'm reading a book now, The Name of the Wind, and I love how the main character is just brilliant at everything. And I love that in games too. Like Persona 5, one of my favorites, was going to be the one I chose. But in this, I was just thinking, sorry, someone's ringing me. I would want to live in the Kanto region of Pokemon.
Yeah, a fine choice.
Okay,
First,
fair.
being a cartoon character is just amazing because every food looks great and delicious. And I'm a picky eater, but when food looks that good and colorful, I'd eat anything. You know, already I'm off to a great start. Get my fitness up. You know, that's probably not necessary because I'm just going to be a Pokemon master.
Yeah.
And perhaps if I was in the Kanto region, I'd like to pick, because we get all these choice options and stuff. So I jump into the Kanto region and Pallet Town the same day Ash Ketchum did, but an hour early, so I don't oversleep. And I go to Professor Oak and I get that Bulbasaur. So ultimately, I have the Bulbasaur, Ash ends up with the Charizard, and Gary ends up with the Blastoise. I don't know how your Pokemon knowledge is, but I'm the third
You mean
kid.
the Squirtle, right?
Yeah, well, what would be a Blastoise?
Okay,
like,
yeah,
I guess a Squirrel, because, you know, they get bigger. Damn it, Darren, that wasn't necessary at all. But anyway, where was I? So I'm in Pallet Town, and like, okay, so I'm on my way to Pewter City. All I have to do to win is beat a level 10 Geodude. That's all I have to do. So I practice in the woods for 5 minutes maybe, you know, catch a Pidgey and a Rattata or whatever, and train them for like 5 minutes.
Do you mean like,
already I'm better than everyone around the area by miles?
You're
like,
just
you
gonna
know,
be dominating this
I am
world.
the best trainer in the area completely.
I love
Like,
that.
by the time I beat the Elite Four, I'm already better than anyone in this whole world. Not the Kanto region, not the various regions of Pokemon, the whole world of Pokemon. So then I go to Johto and I beat all the gym leaders and I become a fucking celebrity with minimal work. All I'm doing is just casually doing these fighters. But I'm leveling up. I'm getting to levels that they can only dream of because they're shit, like, you know?
This is epic.
So like, I'm just going around becoming famous, doing very little. All I do to win, and everyone's like, how did you do that? And I'm like, yeah, it turns out fire beats grass. You know? And everyone's fucking bowing before me, like, you know.
So can I ask then, if you were, you know, you go and you're fighting the Elite Four or whatever else to become the master, what's your, and I think I've probably asked this question, or at least asked this question on the podcast before, what's your team of 6?
My team of 6. So initially, because we're in the Kanto region, and I did say, I'm going back to 1996 here, so it would be Venusaur for sure.
Yeah.
I would have Dragonite. I have to.
Okay.
If I want to go like really OP, I don't think it's necessary in this game because nobody's going to have a Pokemon over level 60. 65 actually is the one.
Max.
Sorry, my knowledge is just too good. So 65 is what Gary's Charizard or Blastoise or whatever is on at the very end of the game. So he's the top dog trainer. So like, if you just grinded for like 5 hours, you would have all your Pokemon on a higher level than that, and you'd hammer them no problem. So it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go with my favorites, and I'm going to go Venusaur, Dragonite. I would love to have a Scizor, but because they don't exist here, I'll go Scyther. I love Poliwrath. Pidgeot is just a go-to.
OG, yeah.
And Snorlax or Alakazam, I just think, to make up the extra. Snorlax just as my like brute, you know, one who's absolutely. Colin would be mad at me that I chose Snorlax because I know he's his favorite. But Snorlax is great, like, you know.
Yeah.
So those would be probably my 6. But I'd rotate constantly to the point where even if someone was good and they did want to challenge me, I wouldn't have one Bulbasaur. I'd have 3. But I would never tell anyone that I have 3 Bulbasaurs, and I train all 3 in completely different ways. So I have a tank Bulbasaur who's really defensive but fires off big massive solar beams and shit. I'd have a really speedy Venusaur that fucking jumps in with Razor Leaf and tackles and all this type of crazy stuff. Or I'd have one that's using sleep powder and poison powder and all these type of things, and everyone be going nuts being like, how is your Venusaur capable of everything? But little do they know I have 3 Venusaurs. and whatever Pokemon they choose, I pick whichever one of those three is going to win the matchup. That is a tactic I never once saw in the Pokemon anime, but when I was like, I'd write an episode and I'd write that in, and that would be like the guy who's just the best ever just has multiple of the same Pokemon and nobody has any idea.
It's pretty clever.
And like that's a genius thing to do, but that's completely unnecessary. I'm already a god just because I'm really.
Is there anybody in that Pokemon world that we would have met through the anime or the game that you would have liked to have? Oh, would you like to do
marry, to hang out with? Are you thinking Misty or May here?
No.
You're thinking, or Officer Jenny or Nurse. I'll get them all, Darren, because I'm so brilliant.
I'm getting so Brock vibes here. No, I mean,
I would definitely be a Brock. In that universe.
I'm thinking, is there any of the characters that you really enjoyed in the series or in the games that you would have liked to have gone on this journey with, as in a companion that's just come along for the journey with you, or would you have been a solo, that mysterious, I don't hang out with anybody,
I'd be a solo until I was able to change their because they're all video game characters and they're all really pleasant and nice at all times. So it would take, I think, a few months of my like downer presence, my like gritty attitude, my dismissive, my lie. They probably don't even lie in that universe. Like only Team Rocket are probably capable of lies, but in this I'd slowly turn them to my level, I'd make it our world over
in this world.
Yeah, no, I like how he's gotten into this. I mean, like, I'm going into Pokemon to corrupt them.
That wasn't the intention, but my based on how heavenly they are all the time, I'm sure I'd look like a fucking devil by comparison.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would probably take advantage of that a little bit.
Like people think
as well, it's your world to live in, man. Yeah,
it is completely. But I would want to be the champion of every single region, and I think I'd be occupied enough. And because you live in the wild from the age of 10, which is fucking amazing, and apparently you earn money for just beating random trainers,
and sometimes a lot of money.
I'm just traveling the world with my Pokemon, catching Pokemon, earning a fortune, becoming really famous, sleeping with everybody, and having the best looking food ever.
Yeah, man, that sounds like an absolute dream. Yeah.
Pokemon was on my honorable mention list. Yeah, and I was the same. I was Kanto region. I was like, it just seems like a real pleasant place to like. And I think I'd just be like one of the. I wouldn't want to be so much like the Pokemon master in terms of the fighter. I would have loved to have been the collector. I would have loved to have gone on the journey to find Mew or Mewtwo. Do you know what I mean?
I would have done all of those things because there's not a lot other than
else
Pokemon
to do.
I'm sure I could get into art and music, or maybe if those don't exist in this universe, heavily get people motivated.
What if, because I mean, one of the only activities to do is to go into that place with the slot machines. What if you came like a gambling addict and that was the end of your...
That's possible, but remember, the Pokemon is an anime, and in that anime, they do regular things as well.
That's true.
So regular sports and hobbies do exist. They're just not highlighted as
in
much.
The game, yeah.
So I wouldn't go stir crazy like...
Yeah. You got things to do.
What Pokemon you only get today? I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take a day off. I can't do that because it is our world mostly, except with great technology, with transporters and stuff like that. And like every building has the automatic doors and plays Pokemon Center music. It's just
wow. Yeah. I mean, well thought out. Yeah, I can't argue. I can't argue with any of that.
But that answer was 3 years in the making.
I've been sitting on this.
I've been adding to it relentlessly.
Kev, what about you? What world did you say to yourself, boy howdy, I'd love to live there?
Yeah, it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. I picked Hogwarts Legacy because I've always just wanted to be a student there. It's been a dream. I fully, when I was 10, I remember staying up thinking at midnight I'd get a knock on my door and I would drop something legitimately. I waited up to see if I could be accepted. So I couldn't pass up the opportunity to study at Hogwarts. I'd get right into it. And the other thing I liked about it about picking that as well is that I feel like any other world I went in, because I'd get the associated powers and I already know how to use them. Do you know what I mean? I know the universe so well that I could just start doing spells. I'd probably try and join in first year and just be way ahead of the curve.
Yeah, why not?
Do a Hermione read all the books before you get there, just in the excitement of being part of it all.
Yeah, and actually I started replaying the game for the first time since.
Yeah, since it came out.
Yeah. And
what year did that come out? That's been out a couple of years now, right?
We did it on the podcast, so it's only about a year and a half.
Oh, a year and a half?
Was it 23? No, 22 then, was it?
I'd
Maybe.
Say it was 22. It was one of the earlier episodes for sure.
Okay, what I might get you to do is I might get you to pull the mic a little bit.
This way?
So see the handle here?
Yeah.
And just pull it so even when you're looking at me, the mic's still kind of in front.
Yeah.
And he's got a loose mic as well, which doesn't help.
No, there we go. Better?
Just so that when you're looking towards me, that you're still talking into the mic, if that makes sense.
That
So
away?
you can pull it like a little bit further close to you. Whatever.
Getting on.
Look at that. He's turning to the left, ladies and gentlemen.
Live microphone.
The etiquette, you know. Yeah. So, out of curiosity, then, what is your house preference?
When I played the game the first time around, I went Hufflepuff because that's always been my
Fair play.
You strike me as a Hufflepuff.
This is why, like, I know, like, on paper you're meant to say like Gryffindor or Ravenclaw, or if you're particularly like evil-leaning Slytherin, Scottish.
Whoa! I was
Did you
chosen
pick
as
Slytherin?
no. Well, I mean, I picked Slytherin because I did the test in real life, and I was a Slytherin, and you have to embrace that. Merlin the wizard, throughout the lore, was a Slytherin.
Yeah,
he wasn't evil.
Plus, before Harry Potter went to Hogwarts, like lots of really nice people were in Slytherin as
that
well.
is
Like,
We
true.
hope.
Slughorn, yeah, he was sound. Snape ended up being sound. Yeah, no, they're obviously it's got redeeming qualities, but I think like most people when they talk about that universe, it's like, oh, Gryffindor. I'm brave. I choose Gryffindor.
Yeah.
In reality, I would probably get picked into Hufflepuff, I think, and I'd be happy out. Like,
I don't know, not because this version of you with all these powers and stuff like that. Plus, you're a 30-something-year-old going into the mind of an 11-year-old.
But also,
so you would be far superior to them in every
This is
way.
it.
But imagine being like going into that and being like imagine Harry Potter arrives in Hogwarts.
You kick the
And-
shit out of them, man.
No, but like you are like when they're looking at houses and stuff like that and reading the history, like Kevin Purcell, the most famous Hufflepuff the school has ever had. Should I mean?
Yeah.
With
You
your
could be
ability-
Cedric Diggory and
this
get
is it,
killed
yeah.
in the fourth one.
But that's, I suppose, is there any other like Hufflepuffs that have made it into like the annals of Hogwarts history? I don't really
Just
think.
Cedric.
Just
Yeah,
Cedric.
pretty much.
And he
For all
died
the
in
wrong
his fourth
reasons.
year,
Yeah.
yeah.
But just I couldn't
He's
pass up on the
Batman now, though.
opportunity. Oh yeah, so true. Because I would just be so happy to study and dive into every book, learn every spell. Learn all
Would
the
you?
potions.
What year in the history? Like, would you go at Hogwarts Legacy in the game's timeline, or would you throw yourself in 50 years later in the time of Harry Potter, or would you go back 100 years when it was safer?
In my head, when I imagined the concept of it, I went back into Hogwarts Legacy time, which is what was that, like, the late 1800s.
Yeah, 1890s
so
or
I
something
just
like
figured
that.
I wouldn't have a choice. I figured that's where it would just plonk me. And I'd be chill with it, man. I know I wouldn't have any of the creature comforts I'm used to in this modern world, but I could do magic. And that's all I wanted out of all of this, was the ability to do magic, fly a broom, go to Hogsmeade. Because like the game, to be fair, I know it had its flaws, and I know
Massive flaws.
Yeah. Do you know what's interesting though? Playing it on a second playthrough, not like probably with a year.
That's
and a
because you
bit of
probably
time.
just ran around the castle and went, "This is a great game," and then turned it off.
That's exactly.
That's if you did that, then of course it's a great game.
That's what I did the first time I played it, and I found I wasn't sticking to the story like really at all. I was just going off doing my own thing, and now I'm just doing the main story just to try and bash through as much of it as I could in like, let's say 10 hours, whatever I gave it. And doing that kind of makes me like appreciate the story a little bit more than I did the first time around. I'm just not going off wandering basically. That's all I did the first time.
And what I love about it is the school is itself, because I listened recently to the audio books of the Harry Potter series, and I guess maybe it's different for like someone who is Harry Potter, who is, you know, as a childhood where he's living at home isn't exactly ideal. So of course you'd appreciate the boarding school style that Hogwarts brought. But like,
He'd have to be
imagine-
lucky though. On his very first day, there's the dragon attack with the carriage. So if you don't have your wits about you, you're dead.
So in this universe though, so when you put yourself in as the main character, I'd be happy just being an NPC in this world.
Just-
you know what I mean?
just
So
looking
you're
up
better
the
off
in
not
there
being
so-
that guy, just
Yeah,
in case.
yeah.
you know?
because I mean the amount of shit that happens in that world, and that's what I mean. Like if you went in there just as like as one of the 8 people who got into Hufflepuff, you know, like imagine that. Like imagine like you and your 7 other mates, whoever they 7 other landmates, and of course you have the girls and you have the girls dorm, and you all become friends at first year. But like you live, breathe, work and sleep Hogwarts for 7 years, and it sounds like, because on a re-listen to the audiobooks of, I'm like, God, it sounds like such a magical place.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be a happy little boy. I would love it so much.
What would be your class of choice? Like, what do you reckon would have been your favorite class to go into that world, spend 7 years? What would you have done your masters in? You know,
That's a good one. I'm trying to think what I enjoyed the most when I was playing the game. Like I liked the transfiguration.
What? What do you? There's. Oh, you mean like the 30-second classes? That
Well, sorry,
don't-
is in what I, because in the game, I don't, yeah, maybe you didn't like do this as much, but when you have access to the room of requirement in the game, you can use transfiguration spells that you pick up just by exploring, and you can
you can refill your
basin or
your mandrakes and shit. It was bad.
I know you didn't enjoy it, and I actually didn't do this that much. I kind of like made the room a requirement my own. I put my own little flair in it, or whatever. But I didn't do that much. I just used it for the bare bones of like having like the Wig and Weld potion on.
I just made it so like I had unlimited of everything I needed.
But I saw a guy, I don't know, I'd love to know his name, give him a shout out, but somebody, a guy who was playing the game for hundreds of hours, basically perfected the transfiguration side of it, and he created like outside in his room of requirement, there's an outdoor area like that's like on a beachfront, and he turned it into like a secondary castle. It's phenomenal. It was like Minecraft in Hogwarts Legacy, but he was so good at it. So I think to do that, to kind of
to be a master of transfiguration,
if I had that much time on my hands, which in this universe we presumably do over there indefinitely, I would just build, and transfiguration I suppose would get me there.
Hogwarts Legacy was a good one as well. I had it on a list of like things I was considering when I was like weighing up the good and the bad and stuff like that, and I had Hogwarts Legacy. Like the game's not great, but purely because it gave me, now I know there's like
but despite the
Hogwarts
game,
games,
because you can almost associate it with everything Harry Potter related.
Yes, exactly.
Which is why I chose Pokemon, because I can throw every episode of the anime in there, because we're able to do it.
So everything Hogwarts that we, or Harry Potter that we know, you can experience.
So you've got a bad game to give you the gateway into a brilliant world, though, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that was because I remember when we did the episode, and I think my judgment was kind of askew by the love of the universe, and then I remember you were unraveling it for me in front of my own eyes. I was like, oh God,
sounds right.
He's so right. I was like, everything you were saying, like the first thing I remember, like having to do Revelio like every 3 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Still as problematic as ever. Like, you have to do it.
I like that.
It's really annoying. But I remember when you were doing it, and I was just like, oh God, the game isn't good. You know,
I'm not,
because I got bored of like. I love the Batman Arkham games, but one of the worst things was having to have your night vision goggles on pretty much 24/7 because you were always like, well, I don't want to miss a potential secret, so I just have to have them on at all times. And in Harry Potter, you're like, you don't want to miss anything, so you just have to press this triangle button every 10 seconds.
It is a right pain.
The noise the Revelio spell made lived rent-free in my head for like months after I finished that game. I just heard it in my sleep. A fine choice. Again, another one that was on my list.
Yeah, I really like that choice. Just for the entry into the Harry Potter world.
Yeah, to be a wizard.
Sorry, if I was in that world too, just because I want to piggyback off that, I would go into a year behind Harry Potter and achieve everything that he achieves a year before he does, and just take all his fame and make it mine. You know,
be like the seeker on the Quidditch team in the
exactly.
first year. It's like,
I'd
the second.
I'd know easy how to get the Philosopher's Stone, no problem. Like, I'll go ahead in there. I'll put Fluffy to sleep easy. Bit of music, no problem. I remember everything, so I would get in there and I would win the Triwizard tournament, all of that shit before he does.
Yeah, that's a great.
That's the way to do it. I had my first choice for the one I wanted to live in immediately was because I had such fond memories of playing the game during COVID was Animal Crossing. But the moment I spent a bit of time thinking about it, I was like, no, I spent my entire time playing that game in debt. Why would I want to live in a world where I am just in debt? I'm just in debt to this raccoon for the entirety of the time I played through the game. So my next one was probably an obvious one to people who listen to the podcast know what games I like, but 100% for me after Animal Crossing, or even before Animal Crossing, I just considered it. For me, the choice had to be Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I felt it. I felt it.
As soon as he said on People Know Me, I was like, here we go. He has to say it. Like,
it's been a while since I mentioned it on the podcast, Greg. No, Kingdom Hearts, and the reason this was a no-brainer was with the stipulation, the rules that you have all the powers of the world. So naturally, I am going to be a Keyblade master. I have such fond memories of that in the old magazines when that was revealed as like the weapon of the main character, like the old video game magazines. I was like, I know this is wacky as fuck, but 12-year-old me was like, I love this weapon, and I still do. As not practical a weapon as it is, it's just a giant key that you smack people on the head. I still love it. I still love it as how it looks and everything. So yeah, make me a Keyblade master. Give me the ability.
Any weapon that can just disappear and appear on command is a very good weapon,
and something that I can customize, like because you got a new Keyblade for every different world that you visited. So I got like a Tarzan Keyblade and a Nightmare Before Christmas Keyblade. But there's a 2-pronged thing that I love. It's the reason I love the game. It's the reason I pick that game as the world to live in. The first being Disney, that I would get to live all of my favorite Disney movies. I just go into that Disney movie and live that story anytime I want. I'm just gonna travel to maybe not Ariel's Atlantis because that was boring as fuck. But any other of the Disney ones, like going to the Lion King and like arriving there as a lion and again to experience like hanging out with Simba and everything like that. And The Night Before Christmas has been a movie favorite of mine for years, and going in there and being able to hang out with Jack Skellington and the kids there and fight Oogie Boogie with my kid, that would just be dope. It would just be so
Essentially,
cool.
you have a gateway to multiple worlds.
Yeah. And in Kingdom Hearts 3 they brought in the Pixar, because it was Disney just for Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, but Pixar got introduced in kind of the Kingdom Hearts 3. So I got Toy Story, Monsters Inc., you know, the kind of the more recent big ones. And I was like, man, imagine just being able to go and like, appear in Toy Story World as a toy and get to hang out with Woody and Buzz Lightyear just for as long as I wanted. And then on the other side of that, the flip side, Final Fantasy games being my all-time favorite series of games, I think, with the characters and everything that are in there, I get to go to worlds where they also exist. And I can, you know, we become a gang to solve the world's problems. And I'm hanging out with like Squall from Final Fantasy 8 and Aerith and Cloud from Final Fantasy 7 and a weird kind of young Waka with a dodgy accent from Final Fantasy 10. But it has like all of those things I loved as a kid and still do. I mean, I watch Disney movies now. Absolutely, you know, that's still amazing. Not so much the more recent ones, you know, they're a bit touch and go.
The
but
90s
like the
ones.
classics, the classics. But it's that thing of like just never-ending fun. I could spend weeks, like you go to, now I know they're small in the game, but I assume there's plenty of places that you can go to that, you know, don't exist in the video game version. But if I want to go to Alice in Wonderland's world, I just experience.
Well, would you might. That's actually one of the probably most dangerous ones you could go to.
It'd be fun though.
Everyone's fucked up in that world. Yeah. But like those kind of worlds are like, you know, and it's great that I would meet these characters who would teach me things, that I'd be able to go to Neverland, meet Peter Pan, and he'd teach me how to fly. And then, hey presto, forevermore I can just fly. No matter where I go, it's not just Neverland. I can go to whatever world I want to, and I can fly. You know. And I go to Aladdin, and I meet Genie, and Genie's like, "Hey, you've got a bit of a quest ahead of you, so I'm gonna be a part of your team." And imagine just having the Robin Williams of genies just hanging out with me all the time as
I
well.
have one question to all these scenarios.
Yes.
You're always showing up exactly when the movie is starting, but what happens when the movie ends?
So
what do you do then? And because in most of these Disney movies, the main characters will either, you know, live happily ever after, or something bad will happen, or they're going off and doing something else. So I just mean, like, after Aladdin 1, say, like, does that mean next time you go in, you have to do Return of the Jafar, and then Aladdin and the King of 40 Thieves, and then after that, does the world just stop letting you in because all the stories are done?
Action one with Will
but
Smith.
it's like, you know, you'd become like, you know, the Pokemon Red ends when you defeat Gary at the end or whatever else, but that doesn't mean that you're just done. You go off and do other things. I know,
but the games continue on.
But I'd like to think that I could just keep visiting, you know, I mean, this continuous Final Fantasy games, continuing like Disney movies that are coming out. Like, I mean, they don't have some more of the modern ones, like Moana isn't in it. Like Big Hero 6 was in Kingdom Hearts 3. I'd love to fucking spend time with Big Hero 6. Awesome. Great movie, great world, San Francisco, like, you know, classic place to be. But just the idea, and like Sora in those games becomes essentially like all powerful by the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, that he can, without the help of a gummy ship, can teleport himself to any world, can save people's lives even after they've essentially died. Like I'm a little bit of a god if I can use the power correctly in those worlds as well. And I just like, you know, and there's so many, I mean, have a Mickey Mouse and Goofy and Donald if I wanted them just to accompany me around the place, and I'm like, oh man, that'd be great, you know.
Yeah, I'd say it would be a lot of fun. You know, it
just would be a lot of fun.
It's the classic case of, hey, what do you wish for? I wish for more wishes, you know?
Yeah.
Because you have unlimited worlds, essentially, because Kingdom Hearts could theoretically go everywhere. Like, you know?
And all the Disney worlds that exist. And if I could add something in, I would love if they did the Aristocats, and I could just go out and hang in this world where, you know, because I love cats. No, well, I mean, I'm a cat. I would assume I'd go and be in a cat in this world of the Aristocats, but I'd just be hanging out with cats doing cat stuff, and cats live great lives, you know? So I'm like, there's all these bonuses to it as well that I just kind of say it'd just be the nicest world to live, and there's very low risk in Kingdom Hearts.
Well, that's not true now. I mean,
if you're a Keyblade wielder or a Keyblade master, there's very low risk.
I know, but weren't all those other people in all those other games, Terra, Aqua, all those people, weren't they Keyblade masters?
Yeah, but
they get fucked up.
They were in a time of war, and Sora went and saved them, and I do that, and we all live happily ever after.
But you're in the most dangerous time now. Like, if you're not on your toes, like, every one of those worlds is doomed. Because in the Kingdom Hearts universe, aren't those worlds being destroyed?
Yeah, but I'd go there, solve the problem, and live happily ever after. Like, that's the point.
Yeah, but it never ends. He always comes back. So you got to be on your toes forever.
But I think
even
I'd like
if you
that.
get sick of being a Keyblade, even you're like, you know what, I just want to go on holidays. But Xehanort's back again. Like,
But I
I
suppose
killed
if
him
you did
10
save
times, but he
it,
keeps shredding himself.
You've got a bit of time between the next time.
Exactly.
You got-
I would
yeah.
assume
Yeah.
so.
You usually
got
get
some
I
higher
mean,
downtime.
hang on.
Yeah.
There was 10 years before Kingdom Hearts 2 came out.
Not in terms of video game logic. He got the bottle, he opened the envelope, and then he went to the next place.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
maybe 2 days at best.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, in terms of, I'm sure I'd have a little bit of time to breathe.
Yeah.
But it just would be, I mean, you get to
I
live
can
in
imagine
Disney
him
worlds.
just being in that world for a week and just being like, oh, it never stops. Like, worlds left, right, and center are like going beep, 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 lighting up like that they're going to be blown to bits. And he's like, I'm just one man. What am I supposed to do? And
me
he's
a
just
break.
freaking
He
out.
dead
like,
spaces himself.
Yeah, just give myself over and be like, I am done with this Disney bullshit. I'm out. No, I think it would just be a hell of a lot of fun. I think I'd relive a lot of childhood nostalgia in the best possible ways. And I think if I had in any way the powers of Sora, I would just be you'd be incredibly impressive to the rest of the world. Everyone comes to you being like, hey, we need to save the world. And I quite like that. I quite like to be, people come to me and be like, hey, he's the hero. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
That's a good choice. Being able to go different areas.
So what I did was, what video
real
game
good
world would
call.
you? I kind of cheated a little bit. Like, I like to go to the game where I can visit loads
Oh,
of
yeah,
worlds,
yeah,
all the
that's
worlds.
clever.
all
Yeah.
of Disney and all of Square. That's like half of media. Like.
I'll take it.
That's a clever one.
Thank you. Do you guys have, even just to mention the things, and we don't have to go into in depth, like we'll finish up the episode now, but do you guys have any that you kind of thought about at all? I'll give you other ones that were on my list, just for fun ones that I wanted to live in. I thought of Mass Effect. I thought of Minecraft. I thought of Final Fantasy X because I wanted to be a Blitzball champion. That was kind of the only reason there. Did you guys have any other things that kind of crossed your mind before you settled on your winners?
I was just landing like Super Mario World in general, like Mushroom City, maybe something along those lines.
Just
That would
very
be-
That
easy.
was one of the
just-
ones I was thinking of, like being the worst.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
because I was just kind of thinking like I'd be in this world as a normal human being who thinks like a human, and
Yeah.
they're all like, let's go up there, and I'm like, how do you even get there? What are you talking about? Like, you know,
yeah, the
And
limited interaction there would be painful.
just their
yeah.
minds are like 2-year-olds, like all of them, you know.
I just saw myself as getting like flower power or something like that, just having the crack. And
Yeah.
just, yeah.
I mean, you could probably, because they're living people, you could probably change their mentality over time, but that's a
Yeah.
few years commitment. I did think of that one, and I was just like,
Yeah.
nah, too much work. Like the Toads, they just learn so slow. Like
So
they're
fair.
so short, I can't even play with them properly. I just always win.
I was trying to think of what universe is low risk, and I was really struggling with what's low
there's
risk.
there's low risk in if you take in, because we are taking into the fact that you've got the powers that exist in this world. So any world that there's like a very quick restart, or there's kind of no death. But I didn't really want to take it that far to say no. There should always be that level of like, well, if you die, it's game over, and that's it kind of thing. But you're right. If you consider it like that, where game over is a game over. There isn't. I mean, fucking, I don't know. Like some simulators possibly are the only safe bet.
yeah.
Like
But there are game worlds where even the NPCs, if they died, they also come back. You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
for me is one where that's why I chose Hades, because I was like, I can't even die.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
is so as many horror games as I thought of, I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, but one where I can't die is the worst of all of those.
Yeah, this is never going to end. Yeah, lads, that was great. Thank you very much for giving me your video game worlds that you'd love and hate to live in. To our listeners, if you've got any ideas of the worlds that you would love or hate to live in, and we didn't mention it, let us know what the
Because
gift
there's
of gaming-
loads out there, and we would really like to know some more. like,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. Let us know at the gift of gaming podcast@gmail.com, because I don't do social media still. I know. I'm sure you get on that train, but I hate it.
You're cooler for not doing it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, fuck social media, man. I don't even need Instagram. That's my mentality. But yeah, so Craig and Kev, if it's okay with you, we're going to stick around and do a quick post show. We're going to do a Battle Royale, our next episode in the Battle Royale, our next round. We'll be picking kind of the ones that are remaining to us, what ones kind of speak out to you guys. If you're interested in that, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/the gift of gaming. And there's like a buttload, bevy load, truckload of more content in there in case you're missing out. For the cost of a coffee a month. Kev and Craig, thank you so much for sticking around. And to our listeners, as always and forever, keep enjoying the gift that is gaming. Peace out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gift of Gaming podcast. I'm picking up nothing but tea drinking.
I didn't know if he'd hear it or not. I wanted that to be on the intro. Just for no reason.
Use that as a soundbite going forward. Anytime you make a good point, it's just
Yeah. Good point, Greg.
I wanted to just be next week. Like, this is all when I was drinking the tea.
I can hear nothing but you sitting here.